One of the things when you're in personal development or you're in entrepreneurship and business, whatever, is that you have to invest in yourself. Like people won't invest in you until you invest in yourself. And then being someone that's young, hungry, and sometimes like ready, fire, aim type of guy. Like I see something, I commit, and then I figure the rest out later. Which is good when you get things started, but sometimes you end up getting yourself into too much. And that's kind of the situation where I'm in now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Walk 12 podcast. If you're tuning in on YouTube or any of the podcast directories, make sure to do yourself one teeny tiny little favor and make sure to give us a follow because I don't want you to miss out on any of the amazing episodes we got coming on this year. Without further ado, let's get right into this one. So, this episode is not part of a series. I just wanted to go here and ramble a little bit because I'm in a tight situation right now. Money's been tight, crazy tight this entire year. This probably easily been the toughest year I've ever had, and like a lot of my decisions are now like catching up to me. Not that I made like horrible decisions, but like one of the things when you're in personal development or you're in entrepreneurship and business, whatever, is that you have to invest in yourself. Like people won't invest in you until you invest in yourself. And then being someone that's young, hungry, and sometimes like just in a way like overly ambitious, like but without doing, I'm a ready, fire, aim type of guy. Like I see something, I commit, and then I figure the rest out later. Which is good when you get things started, but sometimes you end up getting yourself into too much, and that's kind of the situation where I'm in now, where like money's tight. But had I not invested in stuff last year that I didn't need, I would be in a really actually pretty decent position right now. But because I didn't, um, now like money's tight. Like I'm swiping my card and I'm worrying whether or not it's gonna get approved or not. And so it's like money, as I said, is extra tight right now for me. But money is in abundance, right? So it's hard like having an abundance mindset when like nothing else around you points to it. But it's like you can't let that mess with your mindset, and it's been messing with me honestly. So I'm not here trying to like preach to the choir or anything. Like this is what I'm. This is more so like me trying to preach to myself, but it just so happened to be recording a podcast instead of for you all to hear. But man, like I'm gonna start walking you guys through like if I were to have gone back, like what, and I wouldn't change anything. Like I'm here for a reason, but decisions that you know I didn't really need to be investing in, right? And I should have invested in. But as I said, no regrets. Wouldn't change anything because everything that I did led me to where I am today, and for better for worse. So, with that being said, I think the first thing that really got me into a hole is paying for that TEDx accelerator. I should have never paid for that accelerator. I ended up not making the most of it. Still haven't got my first TEDx talk. And like I'll start doing it for a while, and then like I applied to probably like 30 spots. But as I said, I still have yet to land my TEDx talk, and they have so much that they offer, but I haven't made the use of any of it right there. And it's like right there, that alone, that was like $8,800 down the drain, right? That was a big financial investment, and I haven't even utilized it anywhere near as much as I should or could have. And so like that right there, like I had no business applying for that, and like it sounded great, like with the whole vision. And at that time, like I was coming off landing my first, my first talk in January. I talked at a conference called Podcast Expo, and there was probably like 200, over 200 people in the room. Give a 5 minute speech. So I'm like, I have all this hype coming behind me, all this energy coming behind me, but like on and on, like I that really wasn't worth the investment um, to do all that. And I said not on them because I didn't make it worth the investment. That's entirely on me. The second thing, going to the Elevate conference last year, that was a very fun conference, and I got to see a lot of my people, my friends, my real estate agent friends, and I'm really glad that I got to spend time with them. But financially, like yeah, that didn't do anything for me because that's a real estate conference, and like I'm not a real estate agent anymore. So even though, I mean, I could have been there trying to like, tell people about my business because there's a whole bunch of realtors there. So like, I could have treated it as like a place to get more business, but like, I treated it more so like a vacation. But like looking back now financially, like, man, that right there, that was like $1,500 for the ticket. I don't know what I did for. I forget what I did for travel. I think I paid for travel. I'm not sure if I used points or I paid for travel on business card. Right there, if I did pay for travel, that's like 2,500 right there. that I could have had back easily, easily 2500 I could have had back in my pockets had I not invested in that last year. Let's keep going down the line. Um, the next big thing that I didn't really need to go to. I mean, it was a fun time, but didn't make the most of it. Was Summit of Greatness. Now I got to go and with one of my real estate friends from down in Miami. My friend Ava invited me out there, and it was fun. It was a great time. Got to see a lot of good speakers, but like I think I ended up paying for travel and flight. That's the only thing I had to pay for. But like still like I have to go to that. It was a good experience and it was fun. It was my first time flying to Columbus, Ohio. But overall, like financially, that's money I would have like right now, looking back, would have definitely appreciated. I think I maybe spent like maybe like 6 to 800 if I'm not mistaken, like including food, travel, hotel, flight, hotel. I think that was like close to $800 right there that I spent on that. And again, it has great speakers, amazing speakers. I just didn't make the most of it. I was going to too many things. I was signing myself up for too many things. And like part of the skill about investing in yourself is also investing in the time it takes to implement all the stuff you learn when you invested in yourself. So you gotta invest the money, right, to go to these events or whatever. But then you also have to invest the time to implement all this stuff. Because if you're not using any of it, it's just going in one ear and out the other, right? And so that's one thing that, as I said, financially wasn't the best investment for me based on like where my goals were. Like a lot of times too, like when it comes to investing in yourself, it's not, as I said, it's not like it's not the fault of the other person, but you have to know where you are and like what is best for you in that season of life. Like, that's one thing. So another thing, when I went to um, the Create conference, I invested in this guy's mastermind. That was $6,000 right there. It was 250 a month for 12 months. But like, I should have never invested in that. The times of the calls were inconvenient for me. I was never able to actually make any of the calls, and then watching the replays, I didn't make it. They had a course that didn't go through, and all in all, like as I said, they didn't make the most of that at all. It was, from what I saw, some good people in there. I really felt like I wanted to invest in that in particular because I'm a Christian, right? And so it's hard to find other Christian business owners that are open about their Christianity. A lot of times, like you get into business, you see a lot of successful people, but they don't believe what you believe. And now there's a school of thought where it's like, it doesn't matter if they're successful in business, but it's like, for me, it's like, well, I don't know what happened behind closed doors or behind the scenes that allowed people to get to the levels that they are. And not saying that anyone's doing any underhanding or conniving or anything like that. But it's like people act in accordance with their beliefs. And so, in a way, not to generalize, but it's a little, I wouldn't say it's safe to assume, but it's like eas eas easier to like trust someone when you have a same core belief system. And so for me, like, I'm not looking just for money, right? If you're out of shape, keep your money. Like, I'll pass. If you have a broken home, keep your money. I'll pass, right? If you have, a broken relationship with God, or like you believe in something else, keep your money. I'll pass. And this is not judgment. Just like there's so many, like a million ways to skin a cat. They say, right? There's so many ways to make money. There's so many ways to be like make it in this world, and like you have to decide for yourself what that life looks like. Like for me, like I want to be in great shape, have a great family, have a great relationship with God, be good, have a great amount of money, have be good financially, like be good off emotionally. I want to have wealth. To me, it's like abundance in all your areas of life, not just one, right? And for me, that looks different than maybe you listening right now, or someone else, or one of your friends or close people, or maybe your significant other, or whatever it may be. Like my definition of wealth does not have to be your definition of wealth or anyone else's. I'm just speaking as that. This is me speaking to me. You guys just happen to be listening. But yeah. So like that's $6,000 right there for that mastermind that I didn't use. So like right now, What, 8800 plus 6, 14, 16, maybe another. That's like 17 bands right there. Easily that I could have had back in my pocket. Um, had I not, been so trigger happy and quick to invest in things that I didn't need to be jumping into. All right, let's keep going down the list. So that was in 2023 alone, right? What else did I invest in 2023 that I shouldn't have? Let's see. I think that's it for 2023. In September, I went down to Atlanta, went to Puerto Rico. Then October, I went to New Orleans for FinCon. November, I don't think I went to anything in November. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the most part. Then in this year, the main thing that I invested in this year, I haven't invested in too much this year. I've been doing better. But in February, I got selected to speak at this thing called the Great American Speak Off. It was like out of 30,000 applicants, 6,000 people actually tried out, and of the 6,000, the top 150 got to go down to Miami to speak. And so the 2 days before the conference, before the competition, they had a speaking workshop. It was like $1,000. Um, and I was like, all right, I'll go to that. Now, I played it off smooth because, like, I was able to also have a speaking engagement while I was out there. So like I spoke at a conference. I spoke at one of my friends, Dana. She hosted a conference out there, and she wanted me to speak. So like I kind of killed two birds with one stone. But like I should have just came out early just for Dana's conference, and then not paid for that speaker workshop at all. That's $1,000 right there. Easily could have got back. So now we're at 18,000. Um, then what else? Then I went to Miami, and let's see. Honestly, um, yeah. Miami was cool, and then I went from there to Puerto Rico, and then yeah. Since my last trip to Miami, I don't think I invested in anything else. I said I've been a lot more tight with what I'm investing in, and like a lot quicker to like say no to opportunities that don't align with me currently. Because there's a lot of ways to make money, a lot of ways that you can get help, but like it gotta be based on like your current season, like what you need now. So like I said, like right there, that's 18,000 out the drain that I've been pretty much. Let that be your lesson, right? So that you don't have to go spend 18,000, right? Let that be your lesson. That's 18,000. I went down the drain for things that like, man, I could have easily saved that money. I would be so good financially right now had I not, because I made all these, quick decisions. I'm in this hole that I'm in now. So the lesson that I want to share with you guys is like, don't overly invest in yourself, right? Find things that you need, but then don't invest until something else until you implement everything that you learned in the thing prior. That would be my best piece of advice. That's it for this podcast. See you guys in the next one.